Across the globe, there are places which aspire to provide the most exclusive of holiday experiences. Luxurious.
What I am doing is the best you can get in the moment.
Adventurous.
Oh my God, lions! Oh my goodness!
And sometimes quirky.
He is one of the most famous guests, and he has a fan club. He has an Instagram of over 10,000 followers.
But what challenges do these hotels face, and how do they strive to be a top destination?
Anybody could have bricks and mortar in the right location, but in order to stay relevant, I do think it's important to innovate.
With exclusive access, we go behind the scenes.
All right, now let me take you to one of our specialty suites.
Following the staff who work around the clock.
Guys, we need to be fast, yeah? The guest is waiting.
To deliver to their guests whatever it takes to impress.
When you go from one room to the other, you go into another piece of art.
Notice the view is like no other in the world.
All our guests love fantasy and happiness.
We take care of every guest and make them feel like kings.
From Asia to Arizona, Kenya to the Caribbean, Dubai to India. Step behind the scenes of some of the world's most incredible hotels. This time we're in India, famed for its hospitality and service.
Looking after our guests and the service that we provide to our guests has to be beyond exemplary. And that pursuit is the most important thing for us.
They expect to be looked after. They expect attention to detail. They expect a certain amount of pampering. And they expect discreet, understated, efficient service, which is anticipatory but never in your face.
A country renowned for its spices that make its cuisine world famous.
Yeah, it smells amazing, you know, it smells amazing.
And is home to two iconic hotels that hope to take 5-star service to the next level. In Udaipur, guests pay thousands to be treated like royalty in this palatial property. While under the hotel runs a network of tunnels where employees can deliver exceptional service without being seen.
That helps us in contributing to the very tranquil atmosphere and experience that we're trying to build for our guests here.
So all the service goes from there. If you order, say, bacon and eggs in the morning, the chef will make it, the guy will take it, and he will emerge about 2 minutes from your room. It's quite amazing.
And in the heart of New Delhi is a hotel which is the preferred accommodation for one of India's royal families. That controversially closed its doors for a major refurbishment at the height of its popularity.
We were here for the closing party. You will not believe my son and me were in tears. Like, how are we going to manage the next 2 years without this hotel?
They invested millions before opening again, hoping to bring something very special to wow their clients.
There is a new life, new energy, but yet he will draw a comparison or will understand that it has something with the past.
In Rajasthan, a state in northern India, lies Udaipur, also known as the City of Lakes. Set on the banks of Lake Pichola is a hotel attracting guests wanting all the modern conveniences, but with a very traditional feel. Veer Sangvi is a travel journalist who's stayed in some of the most prestigious hotels on the planet.
So the overwhelming theme of Uday Vilas was to build a hotel that reflected Udaipur in all its glory, yet was one that was part of the environment that seemed to grow organically out of the land on the banks of the lake. So that was the genesis of Uday Vilas.
It's important for the management that every guest feels like royalty, even before they check in. This morning, the hotel's arranged for a troupe of dancers and animal handlers. They're preparing for the arrival of new guests Marion and John Cotterill from Australia. They've booked what the hotel call their royal welcome experience. While the hotel staff race to their places, the couple are being ferried across the lake to the front gates.
We decided to do a tour of India on the recommendation of some friends, and we saw a great package, and then we went to New Delhi for a few days for a bit of modern India, and then came along here to rest and relax at the Oberoi villas. Oh, we expect them to be fabulous and to have a certain level of service that we've been accustomed to, and something special, because there's always a surprise when you walk in the door.
Amit Kaul is the hotel's general manager.
Because we are on the banks of Lake Pichola, I think it's a lovely way where we welcome our guests. When they come from the airport to the hotel, they come on to the other side of the lake, and we bring them to the hotel by boat. So there's this very lovely way of coming on the boat, on the water, all the way to the hotel. And as you're coming closer to the hotel builds up to you. And at the same time, you get to see the palace from the lake as well. So it's a great setting to bring guests in rather than by road.
With the hotel at full capacity, boat driver Kishan has to ensure that his guests arrive at just the right time.
My name is Kishan. I am working in Udaipur Hotel 11 years. My mostly work is guest arriving and drop to hotel.
Like many of the staff at the villas, Kishan has been doing his job for many years.
Udaipur बहुत अच्छा lake and view around the hills, everything is good.
We thought we were going to the wrong hotel because we thought they were taking us out to the water palace or something, and yeah, the boat ride's been
quite a surprise.
Quite a surprise.
Yeah, the attention to detail's been fantastic,
and the service is just a level above what we've had anywhere else in the world, really.
With the couple expecting to be wowed, the hotel needs to pull out all the stops.
We've heard the welcome experience is very special here, and it's been living up to expectations, especially with this fabulous boat ride.
Please, two-step, mind your head. Thank you. Please, careful, two-step, mind your head.
With perfect timing, John and Marion arrive at the hotel's pontoon and are picked up by the on-site transportation, a golf buggy.
We welcome our guests with horses and camels on both sides. And then there's music and dances as well.
Such fanfare takes a lot of coordination, but it's paid off. John and Marion probably weren't expecting this.
Whenever kings would come back from a journey and would be coming back into their palaces, they would have a very, very royal welcome. And similar is the kind of experience that we provide to some of our guests. Then you get showered with rose petals, exactly as it would have happened hundreds of years ago in the palaces of Udaipur as well. So yes, that's a lovely way of welcoming our guests, and I think a very royal way of welcoming our guests into our hotel.
By the time you arrived at Udaipur, it's pretty much a wow. You're already sold. You don't have to do very much more. The arrival experience is, I think, probably one of the best in the world.
Thank you. You're right.
The Uda Villas was built in 2002 to resemble the palaces that used to occupy the region.
Once you enter the lobby as well, we've got a beautiful gold leaf work dome right in the middle of the lobby. And it's got murals with floral paintings on the side of the dome as well, which are all hand-painted with organic vegetable dye colors. And that also is in keeping with the style of this particular region. All the architectural elements are of the region of Mewar. So whether it's the domes, whether it's the archways, whether it's the small details of the stone pillars, all of them are in keeping with of this particular region. All the artisans who worked here are also local from this particular region. And we've used various architectural elements which are all locally done. And we've used elements like miniature painting in our hotel, which is a very ancient art of this region. And I think that's one of the reasons why the people of Udaipur feel so connected to this hotel.
The luxury feel also comes with a lavish price tag. Their most prestigious room, a suite with a private pool, costs over £8,000 per night. Water is a theme for this lakeside hotel. It has 2 heated outdoor swimming pools and 19 pools of water running through it. And the vastness of the hotel's grounds attracts all sorts of wildlife.
All our guests, obviously, they do love the location, they love the tranquility of the place, they all love the architectural elements of the hotel.
I think you could argue if you didn't live in India and you came to India, you could go to Uday Villas for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They're not just for foreigners, they're for Indians as well. And I've been 5 times, and I know several Indians who've been more often than I have. It is the finest resort in India. It's often been called the finest hotel in the world.
New Delhi, a hustling and bustling city, famous for its diverse range of restaurants, temples and culture. It's also home to one of the most famous hotels in India, the Oberoi, New Delhi. It's been family-run for over 50 years and prides itself on its personal service.
There is still that sense of old world hospitality where the owner of the hotel makes sure you have the best experience possible because at the end of the day, it's his name on the door.
Originally built in 1965, before having a multi-million-dollar renovation in 2016, this hotel has been a hub for the city ever since. It's typical of a high-rise city centre property. It has 220 rooms, including 34 suites, 3 restaurants, 3 bars, a patisserie, and a delicatessen. It boasts an impressive marble reception hall and regularly welcomes members of India's royal families.
It's as if the weight of the world just lifts off your shoulders the minute you enter it. We've had so many memories, very happy memories here, and we continue to have more of them.
Jay Rator is the Senior Vice President and General Manager. It's his job to ensure all his guests' needs are met.
They expect to be looked after. They expect attention to detail. They expect a certain amount of pampering. And they expect discreet, understated, efficient service, which is anticipatory, but never in your face.
The hotel has the reputation of being one of India's busiest and most bustling venues, and attracts a large number of international guests. Rory Scale, a businessman from Australia, has made it his home while working in the country.
My business works across India. It's based in New Delhi. I've used the Oberoi as a central base. The staff is incredibly consistent, and I really appreciate that. They definitely know what I like to have in the morning for breakfast. I don't even have to ask for the coffee. The coffee that I like is served. It's the little things which go a long way, and I think, again, when we're talking about service, it's those 1%ers do add up.
Whenever Rory arrives at the hotel, he's met with a personal greeting and traditional Indian hospitality.
Every time I do arrive, it's genuine, and I think that's the difference. Nothing is forced.
We make sure that they have a perfect traditional welcome. When I say traditional welcome, I would say the arti, which is like a prayer thing. Guests are God in my country, as you know. We take that to its sacred journey, and we ensure that they are given a proper traditional welcome the Indian way. We would put a garland, ideally of marigold, which is an auspicious flower in my country.
The hotel obviously takes service very seriously, and in order to ensure consistency, the staff all get rigorous training. It even has its own college for learning and development.
As far as hospitality education is concerned, I think the École Hôtelière is the oldest and most recognized and respectable hotel school in the world.
The attention to detail the staff are taught doesn't go unnoticed. Her Excellency Divya Bharatpur and her son Prince Anirudh have been coming to this hotel for decades.
We feel at home here because of the services. I've yet to see a hotel with the kind of personalized service we get over here. They keep our preferences in mind, they don't forget.
You can make a hotel out of gold, but nobody would come to it if you don't have the service. And I think the service standards of the Oberoi are a cut above the rest across India.
It's one of those hotels where you don't have to keep reminding the staff. That's the training that they go through here.
Today, the students are beginning their 6th week of a 2-year course at the Training Academy, in the hope of securing a job at one of the hotels within the group. This is the first time cameras have been allowed to film at this prestigious college.
That's what the session is about. It's about communication skills, all right? And when was the first time that you started communicating?
Since you were born.
Since you were born? Even before you were born?
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Rohit Gambhir is the executive chef at the New Delhi Hotel. He's also a graduate of the college and knows firsthand what the students go through.
Take this back, knead it in a smaller container. Iska tag. Training is something that is extremely important to us. We strongly believe, and we don't say that because it's a nice word to talk. We believe in it, and we are as good as our teams are. And I strongly believe that these are things that are so interlinked to each other. Unless you are training people, there is going to be no consistency. So that's very important. Yes.
So we see that if you've gone
through these... As far as the Oberoi Centre of Learning and Development is concerned, or OCLD, as everyone calls it, started in the 60s. It's 50 years old. And schools, or all institutions, particularly institutions of learning, over a period of time, you know, they iron out the creases and understand what it takes to make successful, practical, and productive students.
The Uda Villas in Rajasthan is spread across a vast area, and with 350 people working around the clock, it's a big operation. But unlike the hotel in Delhi, staff here keep a very low profile, and guests often only meet those front of house.
the service is actually better than it would be in many city hotels. And I was trying to work out how do they manage this ghostly service whereby without waiters or housekeeping roaming the corridors, everything is still perfect. And the answer, and I hadn't realized until I actually checked, is that because it's built on a series of hills, there are many levels to it.
Everything from room service to the kitchen operations are actually run below the hotel via a unique system.
We'll be able to provide our guests with a very, very unobtrusive atmosphere across the hotel. And so we've got this beautiful fabric of tunnels. It should be seamless. It shouldn't really be visible.
So all the service goes from there. If you order, say, bacon and eggs in the morning, the chef will make it, the guy will take it, and he will emerge about 2 minutes from your room. It's quite amazing.
Another feature of the hotel that creates a real wow factor are the immaculate grounds. They're maintained by a dedicated team of 17 gardeners who start work at 5 a.m. before most guests wake up.
अंदर जाना एक फूल निकाल के लेके आना ठीक है वो जो पास में हो ठीक है हाँ ये यहाँ से निकालना We are using all these water lilies in the lobby area so there is small lotus pond is there so we have to pluck all these lilies flowers from here and we have to place in the lily pond. So there are some flowers like you can see this is the peacock flower plant. So these we are using in the suite rooms. So we have to take out some of the flowers and we have to make a small arrangement.
All our guests, they love walking around in the hotel and they love spending time across the lawns and gardens. But they always, when they're leaving, tell me of how special people within different areas of the hotel have been and how they've managed to touch them in different ways. And I think that's the most important thing at the Oberoi.
So this is also a kind of flower which is nerium or we can say oleander. It also gives fragrance. These we are using in lobby, bar, restaurant. So I had to go to the lobby to put some more flowers in there.
Food is a big part of Indian culture, and this hotel has 2 restaurants, both of which specialise in Indian cuisine with a focus on locally inspired dishes. Executive chef Kamal Singh runs his own cooking classes at the hotel. He starts by taking guests into the local spice market, so they become familiar with the hotel's policy of keeping things traditional to the region.
So this is a shop where, you can see this you will find in each and every shop in India. We will be using the cumin, black pepper, cardamom, cloves, green cardamom, some of the mace over here, and some of the cinnamon sticks. Once you have got all the spices fresh, it really tastes differently. And to check it, you take some cumin in your palm, just rub it, so slightly warmness you do, and then you just, yeah, it smells amazing, it smells amazing.
The chef likes to take our guests out onto the spice market. And that's an interesting way to introduce our guests to some of the spices which are native to this particular region and are local to this particular region. When we go out into the spice market, the chef takes them into these stalls and shares with them the different kinds of spices that are available in Udaipur.
Jodhpur is very close by. These spices are grown in that particular region and we get it from there. That makes it more authentic and more regional. Guests always prefers to feel this or how to procure a whole spice. Like they must have seen the cumin, but turmeric in the whole form, they must have not seen it. and tell our guests, so which they really like and appreciate. That okay, something new they have to see and new they have to learn.
In New Delhi, the Oberoi has been a business hub since it first opened, and in 2016, management took the huge risk of closing it for more than 20 months for a multi-million-dollar renovation. It wasn't a popular decision with some of their regular guests.
I don't think this hotel required any refurbishment. I don't think so in the first place. Well, if the chairman and the company thought that it needs to be pulled down and it needs to be redone, so be it.
One of the biggest losses to the local community was the shutting of its famous restaurants. It was up to executive chef Rohit Gambhir to manage the upheaval.
I was a part of the process where we closed down this hotel, which in itself was probably one of the biggest exercises one could have imagined. I mean, this was a hotel running for 50 long years, and to close down that hotel was an exercise that of unimaginable proportion. It was huge.
He took what was actually quite an unprecedented decision. He closed down a successful hotel that was a major contributor to his balance sheet, and he said, we will reopen it when I think it meets my standards of luxury.
360 has always been the most successful restaurant in the country. We ran this restaurant for almost 10 years, and therefore to bring a change in this restaurant, we had to strip it. We broke down everything. We had to bring a new life, new energy, everything into it, but yet we had to maintain the DNA.
I think the hardest part for me was to see my team dissipate. I knew that each one of them would be looked after, but not having them with you was painful. And probably the second hardest was moving my family out of this building, because I live in the hotel. I have 2 boys. Both my children were born in the hotel. They have seen nothing of the outside world, or the real world, as some people say. So to take them out and for them to try and figure out why were we leaving home and why was Dad breaking down their home, it was emotional.
With such uproar from the community, the pressure was on for the hotel to not only open on time, but to please the guests who'd made the original hotel famous. And at the beginning of 2018, the new and improved Oberoi New Delhi opened 2 months ahead of schedule.
We opened on the 1st of January. We had a very successful opening, very profitable opening, very popular with the locals. Tremendous sense of achievement, satisfaction, pride.
Anybody who's been into this restaurant before was to walk in, he will see that the restaurant is different. There is a new life, new energy, but yet he will draw a comparison or will understand that it has something with the past. So I think with that part, it has been quite nice. Most of our guests are back. The restaurant is buzzing like it always did. And I think, as they say, the proof of the pudding is in eating it. I think that's what makes it is extremely gratifying, that we see that we've recreated the successful restaurant that it always was.
We just can't get enough of the new Oberoi, because now the hotel is ready for the next 50 years.
In Udaipur, Chef Kamal Singh is back from his tour of the spice market and demonstrating how he uses local Rajasthani flavours in an outdoor cooking class at the hotel.
We are going to show you lal mas because lal mas is the most popular dish, and the spices which we have shown you today, we are going to use those spices. The first marinade will be with the ginger garlic paste. Some ginger garlic paste will come here. Some red chili, Mathane red chilies will come in there, and some coriander powder. And this one we marinated nicely. And what I will do, I will place this lamb because we have to now seal up the lamb. So I will place all this lamb inside there.
Guests who pay to take part in one of Chef Kamal Singh's classes get to sample one of the most popular dishes native to the area.
Food is very important for the guests, so they should get this traditional preparation, and we ensure at Udaivilas we should prepare, authentic Rajasthani lal mas for them. So what I will do, I will take some of the live coal from here and add some of the desi ghee in this. And by smoking this, I will put some cloves in there, some of the chilies in there. So it will all get infused in the lamb. So we do this part in kitchen, and then we serve the final product to our guest. In Rajasthan, they always say guest is God, So we always treat them royally, and we ensure that whatever experience they are doing should be 100% good.
Today, tour guide Ranvijay Singh is taking 2 guests for a tea time tour of the area by boat across the lake. Something he's been doing since the hotel opened.
I'm taking my guests for boat ride because Udaipur is famous as City of Lakes. And this is the oldest lake of Udaipur, and this is the best time also to take the guests for the boat ride because lakes are like lifeline for the people of Udaipur.
The lakes are the very centre of this community and used by locals in many different ways.
On your left, you can see a temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. So people of Udaipur, in general, are religious, family-oriented, and deeply spiritual. So especially in the old city, after every 100-150 meters, you will find a temple dedicated to different god and goddess. So behind you, over there you can see a temple dedicated to Shiva. And then you can see the bathing ghats all the way around. You will find men, women from the old city, they come over with their clothes for washing, for bathing.
We do quite a few experiences for our guests. We do a beautiful high tea on the boat. We like to take guests out onto Lake Pichola and enjoy the sights around Lake Pichola while sipping on a cup of Darjeeling and having a few scones. So the high tea on board experience is a very, very nice experience.
In New Delhi, and since reopening, the Oberoi has succeeded in reinventing itself. Its new restaurants are not just for guests, but also locals who want to experience new international cuisines. That responsibility falls to food and beverage manager Simon Rasterik.
We try to appeal to, say, a local market and an international market. And if we have, say, Western European food, we are very lucky to have a European chef who does that. So there's real husbandry and authenticity in the food that we deliver. A prime example would be Baoshan, our Chinese restaurant, where we're lucky enough to have a Chinese chef, and his name is Andrew Wong, a single Michelin star chef from London. And we ensure that the food and the quality of food that we provide there meets both the international palate, and ultimately everyone goes away having had an exceptionally authentic and unique Chinese experience.
One fresh Oriental cuisine is a big draw for diners.
Something that is doing extremely well is our sushi. We are extremely well known in the city of Delhi, in fact across the country, for our sushi. We are the ones who brought sushi to India 10 years ago, and we continue to prepare some of the best sushis in India. And on that, I'd like to introduce you to Chef S01. Chef Asap has been with us now almost for 5-6 years.
Across town, back in the centre of learning and development, students are being taught about the hotel's range of menus.
Okay, so last time when we had done the pasta class, so Sanjam, can you name me some pastas which are kept here?
Here we have rigatoni
Yeah?
and spaghetti.
Okay, what does rigate mean?
It has ridges on it.
Ridges on it, okay. So anything that has a ridges on it will be called as. So may I request you to start making the sauce here? Okay, yeah. I think I'm one of those lucky chefs in the company who gets to cook 5 days a week, hands-on completely with the students. Yes, it's an emotional bonding, but I think we all have to be professional. And the greatest joy is when they do well in their careers and they become executive chefs. And yeah, and we celebrate something called Teachers' Day. So it's great to see when they put a message on a Teachers' Day to you, say, thank you, chef, for whatever you taught me. So I think it's a great feeling, yeah. Okay, tomorrow you'll have 10 orders standing here and you can't be thinking about. So think in your mind, quickly action, okay? Yeah, okay, great.
There's nothing that can't be taught. And we have immense faith in our own training modules. We have our own training school. So what we look for is people with the right attitude, extroverts. We look for people with a genuine, sincere desire to serve, people who smile easy.
Some of these students are hoping they'll end up working in one of the hotel's restaurants. But for now, they have to master the basics.
Yes, Ravi, how's it going?
Everything is done, chef.
Yeah, it's done. How do you know?
Because the emulsion is...
Okay, great. It's wonderful. Okay, so whilst you're plating the pasta, it's very important to shout for the service team, okay? Because otherwise, your pasta is ready and then you're shouting at the service team. Okay, so service!
The food cooked here is served up in a restaurant on site, so the students have more opportunities to learn how to keep the customers happy.
Careful, plate is hot. So we can actually go and have a look in the restaurant and let's see where our food has reached. So the pasta that we prepared is here, and from here on the restaurant manager takes on the thing, and we as chefs, we just come back to say hello to the guests and take the feedback about the food that we prepared.
Back in Udaipur, the underground tunnels are abuzz with staff, as a guest has booked one of this hotel's most authentic and popular offerings, a dining experience under the lakeside dome. Costing more than £300, staff at the hotel have to work as a team if they're going to make the experience worth the price. The underground tunnels here are in operation 24 hours a day. Tonight's dinner may be one of the hotel's most exclusive experiences, but it can't interfere with the other guests who are staying at the hotel.
They allow us to seamlessly reach guest corridors without really having to take our trolleys and walk around our guest corridors. So that helps us in contributing to the very tranquil atmosphere and experience that we're trying to build for our guests here.
With most of the preparation complete, tonight's guests get to enjoy a private dinner under the lakeside dome, without any idea of the commotion going on below. Dinner is served by executive chef Kamal Singh, and the guests enjoy local Rajasthani entertainment. New Delhi, guests don't have to venture far to go shopping. The hotel has its very own retail arcade in the lower levels. Luxury Experiences Manager Mona Singh is checking in on some of the hotel shops to see their latest items.
We try to find out from the guests what they are interested in. Is it cashmere, jewelry, pashmina? Usually it is cashmere and pashmina because it's something that even the husbands are fine about. Not such a dent in the pocket.
A shop that brings a sparkle to the hotel is their high-end jewelry shop. Mona is keen to see some of the new arrivals.
I think people are spending, actually not just on material, but on experiences, really. They'll buy the one thing, they'll not buy a whole lot of things, but you know, one special piece that they go back and say, okay, that is a fabulous memento of my holiday in India. So we have pearl, diamonds, rubies. So the most expensive item, I think, is a necklace that they sold a few years ago, which cost about 27 lakhs. That would be about almost 30,000 pounds or more. Yeah, and they were actually choosing between two pieces. They ended up buying both. Yeah, these are South Sea pearls. They're Tahitian pearls as well. Diamonds, sapphires, and a huge big ruby.
It's down to staff like Mona to provide guests with a personal service to make sure they have everything they need during their stay.
You could be somebody who's a business tycoon in the presidential suite, or you could be somebody who's saved up all their life to come and have a cup of coffee at the Oberoi. You would get the same treatment, and I think that's what makes it very special for me.
I think what makes this hotel incredibly special are my people, my team, because everything else can be repeated. I'm sure other hotels have good people, but I'm biased. For me, my team's the best.
For some guests, it's much more than just a hotel. For Her Excellency Divya and her son Prince Anirudh Bharatpur, this hotel is like home.
My dream is to come back here with my grandchildren for all their birthdays.
Two very different locations, two very distinct hotels, but with one major similarity. The Oberoi New Delhi and the Udaipur in Rajasthan both strive to reflect the traditions of the subcontinent in everything they do. They mix first-class service and hospitality with local culture, demonstrating what it takes to run two of India's most incredible hotels.
When you enter a great luxury hotel, you must feel you've been transported into another world. There could be a thunderstorm outside, there could even be a riot outside. But when you come in here, everything is just classy, everything is perfect. You never have to complain about anything. And I think that's the great thing about this hotel.
Probably the biggest reason that I've managed to stay and enjoy the 11 years that I've put into this hotel is because of the people I work with and the sense of pride, belonging, and simply happiness. The hotel is an extremely happy hotel. And this shows.
I think this is the most incredible hotel in the world because it truly captures every aspect of an almost perfect hotel. You know, I would love to use the word perfect, but probably nothing's perfect.
Across the globe, there are places which aspire to provide the most exclusive of holiday experiences. Luxurious.
What I am doing is the best you can get in the moment.
Adventurous.
Oh my God, lions! Oh my goodness!
And sometimes quirky.
He is one of the most famous guests, and he has a fan club. He has an Instagram of over 10,000 followers.
But what challenges do these hotels face, and how do they strive to be a top destination?
Anybody could have bricks and mortar in the right location, but in order to stay relevant, I do think it's important to innovate.
With exclusive access, we go behind the scenes.
All right, now let me take you to one of our specialty suites.
Following the staff who work around the clock.
Guys, we need to be fast, yeah? The guest is waiting.
To deliver to their guests whatever it takes to impress.
When you go from one room to the other, you go into another piece of art.
Notice the view is like no other in the world.
All our guests love fantasy and happiness.
We take care of every guest and make them feel like kings.
From Asia to Arizona, Kenya to the Caribbean, Dubai to India. Step behind the scenes of some of the world's most incredible hotels. Located in two very different landscapes are two unique European hotels, which combine their ancient heritage with modern, groundbreaking architecture and design to deliver guests a one-of-a-kind experience. But how does water alone help support a 5-star spa experience in the 21st century? Or a converted monastery use its modern local culture to stand out from the crowd? In the spectacular mountain ranges of the Austrian Tyrol, deep snows in the winter make this area one that's highly regarded as one of Europe's top skiing venues. Nestled in the region's 63-kilometre-long Ostal Valley, 1,377 metres above sea level, is a hotel which is making use of another natural resource, thermal spring water.
The water is the reason why the aquadome exists.
We have the water coming down from the glacier, going over the stones down to 1,860 meters, and then coming up as a big fountain.
The construction took 12 years to complete. Today, with its 200 bedrooms and capacity for 400 guests, the Aquadome is one of Austria's largest spa resorts. Rising up from the ground is one of the hotel's most distinctive features. Its 3 futuristic basin-style swimming pools, where guests can enjoy the pristine panoramas of the spectacular Ostal Valley from the water.
Surrounded by the nature, it's really important for our guests because here you can clear your mind and leave the stress and the work behind.
But these breathtaking views from the hotel's network of swimming pools are not the only benefit.
It's a special type of water. It comes from the ground very warm. It gets mixed with natural water from the springs around the valley. And the water here in the Alps is a very high quality. And that's what makes the water so special and so soft here. You only can experience that at the Aquadome. Thermal bathing is really an Austrian thing. The tradition of thermal bathing is quite long in Austria.
And already in the 16th century, there was a bath tradition. It's a very good quality of the water, and people always enjoyed going into the bath, but because it helped them, they were drinking the water. And this is how everything started.
Every 15 minutes, each of these 3 floating pools receives a fresh supply of its own special mix of thermal water, heated to a specific temperature.
The second one, I have to say, is our most popular pool, as it's our brine pool, our saltwater pool. People tend to lie in there for hours and hours, enjoy themselves floating and have the panorama view around the mountains.
As its most important asset, It's up to spa manager Leo Holzknecht to make sure the resort's special water is always on tap. That involves making a regular journey to the hotel's nerve centre, part of the state-of-the-art spa resort guests never see.
Okay, now I'm going to show you something very special. We're going to Langenfeld, small village here, and I'll show you a big surprise. Come with me. All right, here we are.
In the middle of this tranquil farmland is the hotel's nerve centre.
You know, water has always been a big part here of our Austrian tradition and of our Austrian nature and everything. It snows in winter, it melts in spring, it comes down to the ground, and then it's coming up in a thermal form again. So really surrounded by water here, and it's a big part of the whole valley and what it all exists about, you know? And where we're heading now is show you where the thermal water nowadays is really coming from. You can see here also the drilling head, because this was the top of the drilling machine where it was really drilled down into that tap, and then they put the pipes down, and that's why the thermal water is coming up now. But join me in here and you can see it really where it comes from.
Since these healing waters were first discovered by locals in the 16th century, the mechanism for pumping water from hundreds of meters down in the bedrock to the resort's 12 swimming pools lies inside this modest shed in the Austrian countryside.
What we have here now is the main pipe where the thermal water is coming up. This is going down 1,865 meters in the ground. We have another pump down at about 700 meters to higher the pressure, and then it gets led to the aquarium to our pools.
From here, the pipes run underground for about 700 meters, all the way back to the hotel.
This is really the heart of the aquadome. This pipe, more or less, is really the reason why this beautiful resort exists.
690 kilometers away, the Dutch city of Maastricht is famous for its cosmopolitan culture and as a venue for international summits, which attract people from all over the globe. And just off the city's Kommel Plain Square lies the Kreuzherren Hotel, a building of great historical significance that dates from the 14th century. This morning, it's up to front office manager Robin van der Eich to open up.
We're gonna start the day with switching on the lights. Jos, kan jij alle lichten aanzetten?
The hotel incorporates a former church and monastery and is one of the city's oldest buildings. After years of lying in ruin, it was painstakingly converted into a one-of-a-kind hotel which celebrates both the old and the new. Today, guests can enjoy its 60 individually styled bedrooms, which feature contemporary furnishings from designers which include Philippe Starck and Le Corbusier. It might be early, but this peaceful atmosphere doesn't last long, as the hotel's popular coffee shop is soon buzzing, with visitors eager to get their first caffeine fix of the day.
Early in the morning now, people are coming here for a slice of fly. It's a local product with some coffee, cappuccinos. We get actually a lot of important people here, actors, singers.
Today's VIP guest is also one of the hotel's biggest supporters, Maastricht's mayor, Anne-Marie Pentestraka.
It's 42 years ago that the government decided to bring a university here, and from that moment Maastricht started growing again into a bigger city with entrepreneurs who thought, well, this is a great spot. We are here now in one of the great examples of this new movement in which the city tries to connect ancient history with a new, bright future. We're so proud of it.
It wasn't until 2005 that hotelier Camille Oostfegel had the opportunity to finally realise his dream of converting one of the city's oldest historical monuments into what he believes is a unique and exclusive hotel.
When I was a boy of 5 years old, I came along with my grandfather here, and he told me about the history of this complex, and I was very overwhelmed what I saw. And that was the reason why it always kept in my mind.
It was really exciting because who has the idea, and not only the idea, but who also realizes changing an old ruin, cloister, beautiful spot, beautiful church into this beautiful hotel. And that is what we have in our city, a guy, Camille Oostfegel, who really dares to do things like this to make our city even more beautiful.
The best thing to keep old buildings alive is to bring in a new function.
My first idea was to make an elevator in the church, so that you get to move in the church and you can discover the church and you go to heaven and go down to earth.
Talking about this elevator, interesting was then when we were putting that element in the nave of the church, well, we decided on the same moment, well, we have to make it from glass, that it will be transparent, because the church is very well orientated. In the morning when there is sun, it comes up in the east and it enlightens your breakfast room. It's not a very easy element to enlight a church, but very difficult when it's a church, but it's a restaurant and a hotel lobby.
To help them meet this challenge and fully exploit the unique features and setting of the building, Camille and architect Rob Brouwers enlisted the help of world-famous lighting designer Ingo Maurer.
When you come outside, you have to make a transition and you will have the experience of a very wonderful interior that you did not expect when you were outside. So you have this warm copper color, it shines you, it meets you, and then you go to this tunnel and you come off an outer world and you come in this inner world and you feel something completely different, a new acoustic, etc.
I think the first impression they have when they go in the tunnel and they come in and they say, aha. They have to feel an aha-erlebnis. That's what you want to give.
Back in the Austrian Tyrol, guests at the Aquadome Hotel can also experience their own wow moment as they take part in the range of activities centered around this hotel's unique natural environment.
People coming to the Aquadome try to stay the most time in the resort, as there's so much you can experience here. Different pools, saunas, treatments, fitness classes and everything. And it takes some time to explore all the facilities at Aquadome. There are so many different things you can experience in the Aquadome. You can go to the outdoor pools, you can go to the indoor pools, you can have a coffee or a cocktail there. You can go to the sauna, for example, stay in the haze sauna for 15 minutes. Afterwards, you go in the ice cave to cool down again. There are so many different things. It really takes some time to experience that by yourself.
With so many activities on their doorstep, breakfast at the resort is the most important meal of the day. In the hotel's kitchen, head chef Herman Bayer and his team of 40 make sure their guests are fully fueled for all the activities the hotel offers.
Breakfast is one of the things what the people most like here. A typical Austrian breakfast is bread, sausage, jam, honey, Danish pastry. I'm making jam for the breakfast. That's a homemade jam. That's strawberry. And that's Marillion, a typical Austrian fruit.
Upstairs in the resort's restaurant, guests are tucking into Herman's breakfast spread and enjoying some of this area's best local produce.
The Aeolian kitchen is not always on the low-carb side, but we try to give the guest choice, also vegan menus. And yeah, I think the guests love to eat here.
We have a traditional Tyrolean buffet with bread and bacon from the region. So, Liptauer in Austria is called Haussülze, ham and everything, and bacon from the region.
We do a lot of things from the farms here. We do the speck, the bacon is from the farm, the eggs are from the farm. We have buttermilk, we have the mueslis, which are also, the products for the mueslis are also bought here. We try to give the guests a good start in the day.
Another popular feature on the breakfast menu is the hotel's honey, which is also sourced locally. So while guests enjoy their breakfast, Food and beverage manager Gerhard Friedwagner is on his way to meet up with a local beekeeper to restock this favourite local delicacy.
Ries is a little village in the mountains nearby, and there we're picking up our honey, which we use in our restaurants mainly for breakfast and also to cook some of our special dishes, which we serve in the evening for our guests. Local products are most important for us because we want to give our guests the impression when she come here that all the products are done close by, and we also support our colleagues who are producing the products in the valley, and therefore local products also have better taste because they're natural made, and they also show the local flavors and tastes which are available in our region and also in our valley. The road is quite steep up, but it's a beautiful drive and also quite a pleasure to go up there to visit our colleagues who are producing this wonderful honey. Servus Marcel.
Ja, grüß dich, Gerhard.
Grüß dich. Was haben wir denn da?
Ja, was tun wir da heute? Heute haben wir Honig ernten. Jetzt ist die Zeit der Ernte. Können wir einmal schauen, was sie eingebracht haben. Komm auch da, komm ein bisschen zu zu mir. Jetzt können wir gerne einmal schauen, wie es ausschaut. Einmal die Bienen sind schön da. Schau her da.
Das schaut ja gut aus.
Ja, schön.
Ja, wunderbar. Ganz gut.
Das schau her.
Super.
Schön verdeckelt, wie es sein sollte.
By sourcing as much as they can from the villages nearby, the hotels forged close ties with the local community.
Jetzt musst du einmal ein bisschen aufpassen, dann können wir die Bienen da
zurück, vielleicht.
Zurück.
So, da. Ja, das schaut gut aus. Den nehme ich mit. Na, dann schnappen wir mal das und dann gehen wir damit.
Gehen wir da einmal zu, dass keine fremden Bienen da dazukommen wieder. So.
So. Soll ich dir helfen?
Ja, die darfst du jetzt nehmen.
Ja, dann nehme ich die.
Ja, dann siehst du einmal, wie schwer die sind.
Ja, dann bringen wir da oben da.
Ja.
Back in Maastricht, they also keep it local. And as home to a large creative community and annual host to the European Fine Art Fair, the Kreuschherren Hotel's owner, Camille Oostwegel, was determined that his renovation of this former monastery would embrace the town's creative spirit.
We were talking about how to decorate the hotel, and my wife had the idea, well, let me do something very new. New design, new architecture, modern art, etc., to attract guests from all over the world.
Here, suddenly there pops up an egg in the middle of the church. A little bit crazy, but it's with a meaning. And the meaning is that an egg symbolizes new life, and that was also brought to this place, to the church, to the monastery.
As part of the unique cultural experience the hotel offers, it's also a popular exhibition space for some of the Netherlands' rising stars.
They always had some art in the hotel, but we're not really very consciously doing something with it. And at some point they got talking and said, hey, you know, this is such a beautiful architecture space. Of course, it's also like an old monumental building with a modern construction, so it already has this kind of eclectic feeling to it. And you know, putting some really great modern art in there, it just kind of gels in an amazing way, and it really brings out the power of the art also.
culture, art, nature, history. All this mix of all this kind of things, that's what we do. And that's my passion and my interest. And I hope to bring it over to our guests. The kind of art must be of a high level, of course. It can be old art, new art, modern art, but the only criterion we have is it must be quality.
The clientele here is excellent, of course, they really appreciate it. So it's been great for us. We sell a lot of art here and people really have a chance to kind of quietly fall in love with the pieces. We try to really put stuff that we think is really unique and really works.
Today, local artist Bram Reiners is meeting operations manager Annick to deliver some of his latest artworks to exhibit at the hotel.
Looks great.
Thank you. It's called Beware of Your Protector.
Okay. And where are we going to place it? Over there or over there?
I think next to these would be fine. So there where the old work is.
Great. Our returning guests who come in here often during a year, they always notice that there is new art in the hotel, so that makes it a great atmosphere.
I'm traveling a lot. So my works are based on photography mixed with billboards. I'm trying to take local culture and make international pop art from it. So I am multicultural in that sense, and I like to express that in my works. I slept several times in this hotel, and it was a wonderful experience because it mixes so well contemporary architecture with art and with the classical church as it is. I think this hotel is a piece of art by itself already.
The hotel's passionate relationship with art also extends into their 60 individually designed rooms.
Every hotel room is a little design museum because there are design pieces, furniture from all famous designers from all over the world. So every room is very special with the furniture, of course, but also the decoration. If you like to take a present home, you can buy a little souvenir. For instance, over there, this beautiful vase is made by Borek Sipek, the very famous Czech glass artist.
While guests at the Maastricht Hotel get to enjoy its latest masterpieces, in Austria's Aquadome, a far more rigorous form of entertainment is underway.
With new water boards, which looks quite funny, as you have something like a wakeboard. It's quite wiggly on them, and you train yourself and do different positions on them.
It's quite a cool activity. It's actually really cool because you do fall into the water. It's called aquaboard class, and it's quite new. We're the first one in Tyrol, the first thermal spa who has aquaboards. It's so much fun. It doesn't really feel like exercise. And the benefit is that it's an unstable underground. So all the time you need to flex your muscles, and you do train your intrinsic muscles, which is really hard to train otherwise. But most of the people who come here, they get to know the benefits of exercise, especially when they train in the morning. They love to do that in the morning, and they do like to get to know the nature with us. So we bring them out into the nature, we go hiking with them, mountain biking, all sorts of things, and they love it.
Personal trainer and hiking expert Fabian Oberlander uses these activities as the perfect opportunity to introduce guests to another local product, one the resort relies on for everything from heating its cosy bedrooms to flavouring some of the hotel's most popular dishes.
So, and here we can see a stone pine. And the stone pines are for us really important because we use the oil, because it has a really special smell. And we use it also for the pillows. We have stone pine pillows. And here we have pine grove. And they are the most important thing because we use it for the stone pine schnapps.
With many trails to explore with Fabian, there's an adventure waiting for everyone.
surrounded by the nature. It's really important for our guests because here you can clear your mind and leave the stress and the work behind. In the summer, it's all about hiking and mountain biking. In the winter season, we go skiing, snowshoe hiking, sledging, and also cross-country skiing. So in all the season you can do a lot of things in the beautiful nature here.
The extreme weather, remote location, and being open all year round may be key to offering guests a special experience, but so too are its 230 staff.
60–70% our staff is coming from Tyrol. They are locals from Austria, and the other 30–40 are international, and of course they have to stay somewhere. We built already 2002, 2 years before we opened, a staff building. We look for transportation for the staff, so it's very easy to get from the staff building to Aquadome.
Thermal spa receptionist William Lazenby originally came to Austria on holiday and never left.
Home for me is in East Sussex, England. I've been coming to Austria since I was a child. Many fun skiing holidays, summer holidays. After finishing A-levels, it was the plan to improve my German here, and I fell in love with the people, I fell in love with the mentality here. I enjoy taking my gym bag before I go to work, have a quick swim, and then we're fresh and ready for work.
And apart from access to the hotel's unique facilities, being only 2 kilometres from work has its extra perks.
If I'm running on time, it's great to be able to get the bike out and go through the beautiful landscape. It's the perfect commute to work. Puts your mind at ease, get some fresh air before the shift starts.
The most important is the team. Yeah, you need the team spirit. Otherwise, you will not have any success. We really want the staff to feel the same at home as the guests feel at home.
Staff here all understand the importance of their surroundings, for not just the guests, but also the resort itself.
The materials are basically stone, water and wood. And everywhere you see that the architect tried to bring the nature in. I'm entering the junior suite. The junior suites are 60 square meters. We have 28 of these junior suites, and here you see the closet. The closet is perfectly shaped like closets in farmhouses are here in Ötztal. We always put the fire on when the guests come, so you really have a warm, welcoming feeling. And you also have the view. You see directly on the Hallkogel towards the south.
We try to pull in the nature in our rooms, in our facilities. That's why we have so many glass fronts to really get the atmosphere inside the building.
I think this is what it really makes special. You are in the middle of the landscape, you are in the middle of the nature, and I think the architect did a great job. To do this. From wherever you are, you can see the nature.
The part of the hotel which expresses this best is its popular spa.
And it's called Spa 3000 because you have a beautiful view to the mountains surrounding, higher than 3,000 meters. And it's designed like really a peak shape of the mountains.
Today, Head of Beauty Eileen Caffia is making her usual rounds to ensure the hotel's intimate relationship with the great outdoors translates into a memorable experience for the guests.
Hello. Very special here as well. We use herbs from outside. For example, those very, very nice flowers from the Alps or the moss here. And now I show you something very special. Very, very exclusive part here, our private spa, an excellent
way of celebrating, especially events, an occasion like an anniversary. We have a Bowie stone tub here, very, very romantic. We can put more candles and flowers if you wish. We have a steam bath here, which you can combine with a nice peeling or a massage to really make it feel good, and a finished sauna.
After a bracing hike in the mountains, guests can relax in 97-degree Fahrenheit water from the Ötztal thermal springs of the spa's underwater lounge, while enjoying enchanting views of the valley.
I like the most the terrace in the Spa 3000, because from there you have just an incredible, really, really mighty view.
You know, in a stressful life like nowadays is, people always have less time for themselves, for relaxing, for enjoy time with their family. That's what it makes our job so challenging, to really put more relaxation and more quality time in a short period here in the Aquadome. But we try our best.
Back in Maastricht's Kreuzherren Hotel, it's all about experiencing the incredible contrasts of 21st century luxury and design set against 14th century Gothic architecture and history. And it's here Jana Herards from the General Services team is about to reveal a hidden feature of this building's past.
Okay, we're going to bring you now to the highest point of our hotel. So, up with the elevator. And now we're gonna introduce you what's upstairs. I'm gonna open it. So now we are entering a special place where nobody of our guests has normally no entrance. We are going up to the roof on the ceiling. To the highest point in our hotel. We are now on top of the ceiling, between the ceiling and the roof. You can't imagine that they did all this by hand. No machines, no computers, just pencil, paper and handcraft. And you see here the domes from above, what you normally see from downstairs the ceiling. Beautiful, you really can smell the old wood. You can't imagine, it's almost 600 years old. They did about 70 years to finish this. So 1438 till 1508 when the monks moved in. Incredible. The closest you can get to heaven. Closer we can't get, or you have to climb up on the roof.
For many guests, the hotel's calm and serene former cloisters, set within a bustling and cosmopolitan city, is a winning combination. But for anyone who appreciates nature as much as art, 7 minutes drive away at the hotel's sister venue, the Chateau Neerkan, guests can spend the day enjoying a different kind of masterpiece, the sweeping Dutch countryside, whilst savouring the delights of its Michelin-starred Auberge restaurant, under head chef Gilbert von Berg. It's just before lunch, and Gilbert is gathering his final ingredients from the chateau's private vegetable garden.
It's almost the end of the season, but there's still plenty of herbs and flowers left. For example, here this is a lemon gem flower with a very aromatic aroma. The leaves are pretty much gone, but they still have some nice flowers with a lot of taste, which we're going to use for our dish today. Here we can see some cucumber flowers, borage, they call it in French. Well, the gardens are very inspiring if you're going to make a menu. You can always find new herbs, new flowers, or even stuff like this to get you started on brainstorming to make a dish. For me, it's very important to find flowers. They're interesting and you can't buy in the shop. And we still have some of the last tomatoes, even in the end of September, which we're going to use for the salad we're going to make. That's it.
Back in his kitchen, lunch service is always busy for Gilbert and his team, and creating dishes which meet Michelin's star quality is all about keeping a cool head.
The kitchen has to be top. Of course, the wines has to be top. Of course, the drinks, the coffee have to be, and the gastronomy and the hostmanship has to be top. But that's not enough. That is not enough. If that is not good, we can close the gates. Nobody will come. But if they are here, they have to feel the experience.
So we started with all the vegetables, and then we're gonna top it off with all the flowers that we picked from the garden. So the guests will pretty much have a walk through the garden on a plate.
As lunch service gets underway in the chateau, at Austria's Aquadome, confectioner and pastry chef Gabriele Holzner is creating her own culinary experience for guests. A well-known speciality, without which no holiday to Austria would be complete. Apple strudel.
Apple trilogy is an apple strudel with an apple and an apple sauce. This time is the best time for the apples. Autumn, our apples are regional. We get it from a local farmer. First, we put the butter into the microwave to make it a little bit warm. This dish is very popular by the guests. They like it very much, and every day we need a lot of them.
With the strudel mix ready, it's time to dish up 150 portions of the hotel's signature dessert.
Now we're ready, and we will put it into the oven.
While Gabriele adds her finishing touches to tonight's dessert, after a morning full of activity in the hotel's thermal pools and fresh mountain air, guests at the spa are looking to relax. And down in the hotel's massage parlour, a feature of the local environment has also found a special place.
The stone pine wood massage is a special massage. The customer won't get this experience anywhere else. The pine is picked in winter, just before the new moon. It's the best time, really. In the evening and a dark night, they chop it, basically. It's called the moonwood. It's a great massage because hikers experience the smell in the woods, and then they come down after a long day and they get to enjoy the same smell in the room.
After a revitalising massage with body and mind restored, Supervisor Fabian has a special treat for any guests looking for an undercover mission to round off their day in the resort.
And if we are on the top in Austria, we touch the cross point and say, Berg Heil.
3,050 metres above sea level, on the Gislashkogel mountain in nearby Solden, stands an impressive two-storey glass building. As one of the dramatic filming locations for the James Bond movie Spectre, it's now an impressive installation which celebrates the world's favourite spy. And also offers a stunning backdrop, where guests can enjoy an aperitif in front of the Tyrol's stunning mountain ranges. While Fabian and guests enjoy a refreshing cocktail on the roof of the world, at Maastricht's five-star Kreuzherren Hotel, its talented team of chefs is busy preparing for a big event taking place in the hotel's restaurant tonight. On the menu tonight is traditional French cuisine, But true to form, it's delivered with the hotel's modern take. Up in the first floor restaurant, it's up to food and beverage manager Bart van der Stuken to make sure every night meets his diners' high expectations.
Good evening. We are full booked for this evening. We served 3, 4, 5 or 6 courses in our restaurant. It's a busy evening. It's also a popular restaurant over here in Maastricht. And we have also a very important group tonight with us in our restaurant. It's my favorite places over here. Also for our guests, you have a glass of wine and the French kitchen and a Limburg's twist.
As service begins and guests are served with food meticulously prepared by the kitchen team, down in the hotel's wine cellar, head sommelier Nick Wolferink is busy selecting his finest wines for tonight's guests.
We are down at the champagne selection of our restaurant, where we store all the bottles of champagne. We got some really nice champagnes over here. Rosés, Blanc de Blanc, the Cristal of Louis Roederer, which is our house champagne.
Thanks to this hotel's state-of-the-art, climate-controlled wine cellar, Nick can keep a regular stock of up to 1,800 vintage wines, lovingly curated to appeal to the discerning tastes of his VIP clients.
It's really important to have some great wines. We are a 5-star hotel, so we need to have a 5-star wine selection.
We have a lot of guests from all over the world, from President Bush, who came here, the Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, Robbie Williams, NATO summits, European summits, a lot of famous artists, sportsmen.
One time we had David Hasselhoff coming over to our hotel. He's a really big fan of our hotel, so I also collected a bottle of wines for him. But then we found out he didn't want any wine and he just ordered some orange juice at his room.
By taking advantage of their own unique local environment and culture, both the Aquadome and Kreuzherren Hotel aim to deliver a special experience to their guests.
When I enter here, a lot of the people who are working here, they recognize me, of course, even it's more than 10 years ago. And I see it, they are always very proud of this building and how it is today.
Aquadome will always be a place with water, and it will always be a place for well-being. It's basically a must for once in a lifetime to come to Aquadome to see it.
The ability to fuse their traditions with both the local environment and modern culture is what their staff and management hope make them incredible places to stay.
I think it's an incredible hotel, and I think you really have to come to feel how incredible it really is.
Well, we always have those special magic moments when people come and tell our staff, it's an amazing resort, I've never seen anything like that. And they have a smile on their face, and that's when you recognize it's good what you do and why you're working here.
The combination is so nice that you can bring all your friends and all your families. You can come with 10 people and everyone can spend his or her day on what he or she loves to do. That's what I find amazing about the Aquadome.
What makes me proud, of course, is that the guests are enthusiastic and satisfied, and they talk about all over the world about the hotel. That's what you like to reach as a hotelier.